After a few months of doing this, and I realized how wrong I had been for so many years, I feel almost silly, like almost a little embarrassed. So I'm hoping that this episode can help some of you. Hello, and welcome to the Scrappy Piano Teacher Podcast, the show for independent music teachers who are building studios with heart, grit, and maybe a whole lot of coffee. I'm your host, Jacqueline Rosick. You can call me Jackie, and after 27 years of teaching piano, 10 years of homeschooling, and of course, running my own piano studio at the same time, I know the path to a successful teaching life isn't always polished, but it is possible. This podcast gives you real-world strategies, grounded encouragement, and the occasional messy story from the trenches, because you do not have to have it all figured out to build something great. And today's episode is one of those stories. We're talking about money, not how much you're making, but how you're managing it. Because being aware of my own weak spots, especially with finances, has been one of the most powerful ways I've kept my studio sustainable. When I know where I struggle, I can be proactive and put systems in place before those struggles turn into full-on problems. Also, don't forget, after you have listened, there is a free Profit First at a Glance cheat sheet for music teachers that I put together. It's got sample percentages, account suggestions, and the exact system I use. You can find it at scrappypianoteacher.com. In the meantime, let's dive in. Hey guys. Okay, if you are anything like me and you specifically shell out time to work only to end up doom scrolling during your admin hours, I created Scrappy Sessions so that we can actually get some stuff done. This is not just a Zoom call, it is a live workshop. In our July session, I'll give you quick, actionable advice on both career planning and policy writing, and you'll get a copy of my free calendar template and the exclusive policy builder. After that, we've got a solid hour of focused work time to get your drafts outlined and hopefully finished. Also, it's just $10 if you register before July 8th. So head to scrappypianoteacher.com and click on Scrappy Sessions to snag your seat. Now, let's talk profit first. Alrighty, hey Scrappy Teacher, Jackie here. And if you've ever stared at your bank account at the end of the month wondering how, where, what money, where's the money all gone? Well, this one's for you. We are diving into the system that finally made my studio feel sustainable, which is Profit First. Now, this episode is going to break down exactly what it is, how I use it as a piano teacher, and why it has saved my tush in multiple ways this past year, plus what to do if numbers are not your thing. Spoiler alert, I am probably worse than you are. I guarantee it. So if I can do it, you can absolutely do this too. Now, let's be real, okay? To my credit and ego, I did have a pretty decent setup before I implemented Profit First. I had a checking account for the studio, I had a checking account for personal, and I had a savings account for overflow, which did end up kind of mixing between studio and personal. But it worked until it didn't. Actually, just kidding. It never really worked. I didn't have clear boundaries. I didn't have any rules. I just kind of was like, nah, I'll move a little here. I'll move a little there. Never mind. Let's move this back here and this back there. And anyway, I would pay myself when it felt okay. Actually, I never even got to the point of quote unquote paying myself, but I pretty much just kept moving the money back and forth like a game of hot potato, literally pinching pennies by the end of the month until the next month of tuition, which I think if you've been a piano teacher long enough, you probably know what I'm talking about. I would also totally panic during tax season, and I would stress when anything unexpected would pop up in the studio or my home life, which of course it always does. Now, that all changed when I finally implemented a version of Profit First that worked for a piano teacher like myself. So let me give you some examples of how Profit First helped me this past year. First of all, the church that I always use for recitals has always been $50 every time, every recital, $50. With respect, they really have been undercharging. It's a great place to have recitals. And finally, they revise their fees. Fortunately for them, and unfortunately for me, they switched it to $250 per recital due upfront with a $200 deposit. At this point, when I found this out, I had 3 recitals already booked, but thanks to Profit First, I was able to cover 2 of them. And then for the third one, I ended up shifting plans and we did something a little different. And that was fine. It actually ended up working out pretty well. Now, the next way that Profit First helped me is over the course of the year, I was gifted a piano. Yay! So exciting, right? We always dream about being gifted beautiful pianos. But you guys are teachers and you know just as well as I do that free pianos aren't really free. I had to pay for moving my old piano to my parents' house and then the new piano to my house. And I had to pay for the tuning for both instruments. So, yeah, not free. But again, I had the money ready because of Profit First. And my favorite adulting moment of the year that I can pat myself on the back for is I actually got to pay my taxes in full. I paid my accountant and I still had enough to contribute to a SEP IRA. This is unreal for me. I never in my life expected that I would be able to do that. I've always felt kind of like the redhead stepchild in that sense that I've been like, everybody else gets to do this, but I can't figure this out. So if you're one of those, you're not alone. So those are fun wins and all. But real quick, let's talk about money mindset because this always comes up. It's a conversation that I've had a gazillion times with my own financial coaches and the courses that I've taken. You got to talk about your money mindset and you got to think about it. Now, I am not a money person. I love spending money. I'm really good at it. If you want to spend money, come to me. I'll help you. It's fun. Influencers are out there just influencing me every day with their cute planners, their cozy home goods, all the cute clothes. And let's just say it's not great for my budget. But I also know that there is a lot of baggage for us when it comes to money. How we grew up, what we were not taught, generational money mindsets. It can be a lot and it's real. But to be blunt, and I say this with love, your studio's finances don't care about your feelings. They don't care if you grew up with money trauma or feel uncomfortable with numbers. Either you're going to build something sustainable and do the work, or you're going to feel stuck. So that's my little bit on that. Now, just to be clear, I have had to work extra hard on this. I now have a monthly meeting with a financial coach and quarterly meetings with my accountant to keep me accountable. Hopefully you don't have to do all that. But if you do, just be real about it, okay? Because it really has helped me to be real about it. So when I say that this system works, I'm not saying it lightly. I'm saying it as someone who has had to claw her way into better money habits. So what is Profit First? Profit First is a cash flow management system created by Mike Michalowicz. Mike, how do you say your last name? It's Michalowicz. I'll spell it like right here for you. So anyway, it's based on this idea that businesses should pay themselves first. Instead of spending and hoping profits left at the end, you pull the profit first, then you allocate what's left to expenses. And why are people loving it? Because it creates clarity. You always know where your money is and for what purpose. It forces discipline, it gives you margin, and it reduces surprise expenses. This system has literally saved businesses from bankruptcy. No joke. And even major corporations have started adopting variations of this method because it really works for any size business, including micro businesses like ourselves and multi-teacher studios. Now, most people run their business like this. They get their income, they subtract their expenses for the month, and what is left over is profit. But we don't do that with Profit First. We flip it, and instead we do income minus profit equals expenses. Okay, that's it in a nutshell. Now, with Profit First, you're going to create accounts like profit, taxes, operating expenses, business checking, something like that. Every time money comes in, you split it between the accounts on purpose. There's no more waiting to see what's left. There's no more moving this here, there, or whatever. You move it one time to the allocated account in the percentage that you have chosen beforehand. Now, when it comes to a piano studio, as per usual, we are always a tad different. I use Relay. It's an online bank. It lets you set up multiple accounts. I like it because there's no fees and it specifically talks about profit first. So it just worked really well for me. I love it because I can move the money around fast and keep everything super clear. There are some other pretty solid options other than Relay that I found when I was doing my research. Some other ones I found were Bluevine, Novo, or even Ally. But honestly, it's whatever works best for you. I don't know which one's better than the other. Relay works really good for me, and I'm going to stick with it. Now, with Relay, I have 4 accounts. I have a business savings, I have a business checking, I have a tax account, and I have a profit account. I also have a personal checking and a personal savings at my regular local bank. So in total, I have 6 accounts, 4 with Relay, 2 at my regular bank. So when it's tuition time, which is the best time of the month, woohoo, here is how I split every payment. So I get the payment. I'm going to send 50% to my personal. I move 5% to my personal savings. I move 25% to taxes. I move 5% to profit. I move 10% to my business checking, and I move 5% to my business savings. Beep, bop, boop. If I did my math right, that should equal 100%. Now, I want to go through these really quick. 50% that goes to my personal. That's where I'm going to pay my bills. Okay. 5% to my personal savings. I don't touch that. 25% to my taxes. Obviously, that's going to my taxes. 5% goes to a profit. What the profit is, that's kind of fun. And now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't prepare this. So, I'm just going to explain this as best as I can on the spot. But your profit account, I think it's every 6 months. I have it set at every 6 months. You're going to put 5% into your profit account and you're just going to leave it. You're just going to let it sit. But after 6 months, you get to take 50% of what's in your profit account and take it out like a personal bonus. So maybe you do want some Amazon dresses, or maybe you are getting influenced, or maybe you're going to go to the Bahamas and you want some spending money. You can use that as like a bonus to yourself. And then think about it. You have half that money sitting there in profit. And then the next 6 months, 5% every month continues to accumulate. Then you take half of that. And so it keeps building and you keep getting a bonus every 6 months. After some time, it's going to be a lot of fun. Mine's not huge right now, but it will be one day and it's going to be awesome. Okay. 10% to business checking. So that's going to go to anything for my business that I need to pay on the regular, for recitals, if I need to get music, get my piano tuned, and then 5% to my business savings. Maybe I'm going to save up for a new piano, that kind of thing. Now, please know I have played with my numbers a lot and I have worked with a finance coach. And this is not a hill I would die on with these percentages. It's just been what's working well for me right now. Maybe you're like me. And when I first heard those percentages, I remember thinking, wait, I'm only getting paid 50%. That's it. How am I supposed to pay my bills on that? How am I supposed to do that? And this is totally valid. Again, that was my exact thought too. And part of why I held off on starting profit first. I looked at it for 2 years and I was like, yeah, not for me. But yeah, I get it. However, once I started actually moving the money into those separate accounts and giving it a job, I kid you not, I really felt like I had gotten a raise. I've never felt so good about my money in my entire life. Absolutely nothing changed in what I was earning at that time. What changed was the clarity. It was my mindset. I wasn't flip-flopping my funds. I didn't get that sick feeling in my stomach when I had to spend money unexpectedly. You know what I'm talking about. And when I needed the money, it was sitting right there in the pocket that it was meant for in the right account. So it turns out I was making enough. I just wasn't managing it in a way that gave me peace of mind, clarity, or even really when it all comes down to it, responsibility. And hey, one more thing I want to throw in here because I didn't say it earlier. For those of you running a lean solo studio, like working out of your house or not paying other teachers, it's totally okay to bump your owner's pay up to 60 or even 65% at first. Just know that means you'll be giving a little less to business expenses and savings. It's all about trade-offs. You can adjust it as you go, and that's the whole point. It's flexible and it gives you data. If this helps you pay your mortgage and breathe a little easier, then I think it will be worth it. So I'm not going to lie about this. After a few months of doing this, and I realized how wrong I had been for so many years, it's almost kind of, I feel almost silly, like almost a little embarrassed. And here I am, like letting the world know. But it's helped me. So I'm hoping that this episode can help some of you. That would be amazing if it helps some of you. So if it does, let me know. Now, if you're like me and not great with money, the biggest advice I have is to do this. You have to do it the moment that payment hits your account. If you ignore it, you're going to forget and you're going to end up spending the money. You're going to be like, whatever. And I haven't been perfect. There has been a month, May, because May is May as a teacher and it's crazy. I personally try to set a little coffee date with myself at the start of each month to do a check-in. And sometimes when tuition is due, I set aside 10 minutes each day that entire week to keep up because we all know how sometimes that money kind of trickles in little by little. I also have a financial coach. She keeps me on my toes. She's always like, so did you log this in? And I'm like, no. So I have to go back and do it. Again, I do need some accountability. I am not offering to do accountability for this, by the way. You don't want me. But if you would like a financial coach and you are a music teacher, let me know because I know a couple of really, really great ones and I'll be more than happy to refer you. But yeah, you want to do it right away. It's going to reduce that temptation to use it for something else. And if you mess up, you just start again like I did when I messed up in May. Whatever. We're human. We learn through mistakes. Give yourself grace and get back to it. I know this is a lot of information and your brain might be buzzing with questions. So let me go ahead and answer a few of the big ones teachers usually ask and ones that I asked as well. So, do I have to open 5 bank accounts right away? No, you can totally start with just 2 or 3 like I did, just have a better system. So think of it as a system that grows with you. Okay. Another question would be, what if my income changes month to month? Because sometimes it is inconsistent and that's normal for a lot of us. Profit first still works. You just apply the same percentages to whatever comes in. As soon as tuition comes in, you just divvy it out. Good to go. All right. Do I need an accountant to do this or a financial coach like me? No, not at all. It's great if you have one, but you can absolutely set this up on your own. And if you're unsure, just start small and build confidence as you go. If you've got any other questions, or if you'd like me to bring on a financial expert for a follow-up episode, let me know. You can DM me on Instagram at Jacqueline Morozic _ piano. Had to think about that for a second. I've changed it a couple times. Or you can email me at Jacqueline, JACLYN at scrappypianoteacher.com and let me know. I'm happy to make it happen. And one more reminder before you go, make sure to grab that Profit First cheat sheet for music teachers. It's totally free, super simple. It breaks all of this down in a visual way. Again, head to scrappypianoteacher.com or check the show notes to grab it. Okay, so listen, Profit First is not about becoming a finance guru. We all know that Jackie is not one, but that's okay. It's about giving your money a job and finally feeling like your business is working for you. You don't need to get it perfect to get started. You just need a system that separates the dollars meant for your business, your taxes, your savings, and your life. You deserve that clarity. Again, not a financial coach, but if you need time set aside to do things like this for your business, come and join the Scrappy Sessions. They will be monthly. They will have different topics because when we do this stuff together, it actually gets done. Anyway, Thanks for listening. I think you guys are great. I've been so grateful for the support as I have rebranded to my Scrappy Piano Teacher podcast. Check out the YouTube channel. Give me some 5 stars on that Apple and Spotify, and sign up and subscribe because I do send out some free stuff. I've got free stuff on the resource page, and it's just going to keep building. So thanks for joining me. I appreciate you guys, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.